Welcome, my friends, to this episode of CELTA Insider. Well, today we're going to talk about the CELTA application and how to fill it in a good way so that you can have a place on your CELTA course. And the best way to do this is to go through an application and try to fill it together and give you also some tips on how to handle all the areas in the CELTA application. Let's go. So as you see, my friends, here is the CELTA application right in front of us. And we've got here, please place a photo of your face here for internal admin purposes. And let me say, my friends, that please, when you choose a photo for your CELTA application, try to choose something that is, I'd say normal. And what I mean by normal is because I checked some CELTA applications before and I saw some weird pictures, I still remember that someone sent a picture from the bedroom and it was a bit weird. Someone sent a picture with his friend, so we don't know which one is applying for the course and that kind of stuff. So please send a picture that is normal, that can show your face, a recent picture, and choose a good one. You know what they say, first impressions last forever. So try to choose a good picture and attach it to your application. Right. When it comes here to the personal information, nothing much to say. Just be honest and write the real thing. And but be careful of punctuation. Because I know from my experience that some candidates, when they start filling their application, they're just in a hurry and they don't pay attention to punctuation. Now, my friend, remember that you're applying to a CELTA course. And the reason why you're applying to this CELTA course is because you want to be an English teacher. And if you want to be an English teacher, then again, it doesn't make sense that you don't take care of your punctuation and show your tutors that you can write in good English. Because remember, people are accepted on a CELTA course if their level is C1. Now, how come you are at C1 and you don't know how to punctuate your English correctly? You know what I mean? So avoid writing, for example, your name like this one, like, right, John. Hey, come on, what is that? Right? So write it like this and make sure that everything, okay, is done in a very, very good way. And always remember that you're not the only person applying for this course. Maybe 50 or 100 people are applying at the same time. And maybe the CELTA Center only needs 12 people or maybe maximum 24 on this course. So don't get yourself rejected because of, some, slips and mistakes in punctuation. You know what I mean? Right, good. Now, so that first part is no problem. Then we come to the disability part where the center asks if you have a disability, yes or no. And please be honest. Be honest about it. It's not in your favor to lie about your disability. And always remember that mentioning a disability you have will not in any way affect your opportunities of joining a course. You know what I mean? And the reason why you should mention this is because your tutors will try their best to support you and give you what you need. So don't lie about this at all and mention what you need. Maybe you've got weak eyesight or something. So your tutors during the course will make sure that the handouts you get, come in a good font, so that you can see clearly what is going on. And this is very important for yourself, right? So please, be honest about this one. And then we come here to this chart where it says educational qualification. So Mention the name of the qualification, maybe a bachelor degree. Mention the school, university, institute, start date and finish date. And some people don't care much about this part, but let me tell you that this part is very important part of the application. Why? Because it will show your tutors how much experienced you are in a specific area in English language teaching. And this would be very helpful for you on the course. So your tutors would be able to use your strengths in your favor during the course. So please also be honest about this and mention the qualifications you have, and try to write in details and add as much as you can. Right, then we come here to this one, employment history. Very, very, very important. And someone might say, Shadi, what is so important about the employment history? And I would say it's the same reason as the previous point. We want to know who this applicant is, what this applicant is capable of. Someone might say, will this affect me in terms of being accepted or not on the course? No, it's not about that. It's about knowing where your experience is. Maybe you are very experienced with teaching young learners, and this means that you will need a lot of support with teaching adults. You know what I mean? And we know that people who are experienced with young learners are very good with material designing. And that would be a plus for them. So when you put information regarding your employment history here, your tutor again will know very well your strengths and your weaknesses. And this would be very important for you on the course, right? Good. Now, then it comes to language. And please mention the languages that you know. And also if you have English language qualifications, for example, like the IELTS or the TOEFL or you name it, make sure that you put this there and the grade. And remember that in CELTA, we need a candidate who is at level C1 according to the CEF, the CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference. So make sure that your level is at C1. And if you have an exam certificate that says so, so please mention this in your application. That would be a very strong point for you. And we come here to this task, and it says, why would you like to take the CELTA course? What do you expect to gain, and how does this qualification fit in with your future career plans? And you're required to write 200 words. This is a very, very important writing task. Because remember, I said before that we need level C1 for the CELTA course. And this is the time when you show your tutors that you are at the C1 level. And please don't get someone to answer this for you and send it. And remember that the center will be giving you another writing task that would be face to face. So I'm sorry to put it this way, but if you lie in the application, these lies would not last forever. They would be discovered later. So, make sure that you are C1, write a good piece of writing here, punctuation, write in a good way, and cover the points. Like Ace says, why would you like to take the CELTA course? That is part 1 that you need to cover. So please cover it. And then the second question, what do you expect to gain? And how does this qualification fit? These are 2 questions in one. What do you expect to gain from the course? Make sure that you answer that. And then move to how does this qualification fit in with your future career plans? Make sure you cover this as well. So please read the question carefully, cover it, and write something that is coherent, something that is cohesive, and remember that we need people at the C1 level. Now, we come to the following question, which is, Why do you think you are suited to teach in English? Again, another 200 words. Always remember, we want to see whether you're able to write in correct English or not, because on a CELTA course, there are 4 assignments, and every assignment will be written in 1,000 words. So that's a lot. We want to make sure that this person applying for the course will be able to pass those assignments and write in a good way. And also, be careful, because some of these questions would show your character. And having a nice character on the course is very, very important. It is very important to give your tutors, through the application, the impression that you have a good personality. You're not an arrogant person. You are ready to listen and develop. You're someone who accepts feedback. And again, and if you're not this person, then please try to be that person, because these are the qualities of someone who would be successful in reality. Right? Good. Now let's move to here. And here it says any other relevant information, like is there anything you want to add? And then, how did you hear about the course at our school? Signature, date. Okay, good. Then we come to the disclaimer. That's a very, very important part of the application, because the disclaimer tells you about the school rules. These are our rules. Are you happy with them? So make sure that you read that part carefully, because later you cannot complain about something that has been mentioned here in the disclaimer. So people tell you clearly that this is what we do. Are you happy with it? So if you're happy with it and you sign, well, that's a contract now. You cannot come later and say, I didn't know this. And then people will say, but hey, wait a minute. You signed a disclaimer and you said that you agreed to these points, right? So make sure you read it carefully. And remember that if you disagree with this, you might not be accepted on the course, because it is the school disclaimer. This is what they say. This is our contract. Are you happy with it? If you're not happy with it, if you don't accept it, then don't come. Simply, right? Good. Now, then we come here to the pre-interview task. And before I talk about the pre-interview task, there is something very important to mention here. And I've heard this a lot from many CELTA applicants. They keep saying, why are you testing us before we join the course? We're coming to learn. What's the point of testing us before joining the course? You know, I mean, isn't that what you should be teaching us? So why are you asking us about it before joining the course? I've heard this so many times from so many CELTA applicants. And let me tell you, my friend, that the reason why you're asked these questions in the pre-interview task is not actually about testing whether you can find an answer to these or not. No. Because again, what we care about in a CELTA applicant is that your English is good in terms of speaking and writing. We don't care whether you know how to teach English or not, because that would be our job. We don't expect you to know a lot about linguistics and English grammar and phonology. No, we don't expect you to know much about that. So someone says, then why the pre-interview task? Why are you asking me? It's because we want to see whether you're able to research and find the good answer or not. We want to see whether you are ready to sweat and work hard and find the answers. So it doesn't matter if you don't know, but it does matter that you research and you find a good answer, because this is what would be required from you on the course. You will be given assignments and you will need to go and research. If you're unable to do that job on your own, then you shouldn't be on that course. And that's why we ask you all these questions. Not because we want you to answer them, but because we want to see, will you be able to research and find the answers? So let me go through some of these questions. And here is question number 1. And it says, the task is divided into 4 parts. Okay, part 1, correcting a student's mistakes. And it says here, each of the exchanges below contains a mistake in each case. Underline the mistake, then write the corrected version in the space provided, then write in simple terms, as if speaking to a learner of English, how you would make the correction clear. Okay, lovely. And it says, can you give me some advices, please? And again, it's clear that advices is the mistake here. And someone might say, Shadi, I don't know about advices. What if I don't know whether it's correct or wrong? How would I know? And the answer, my friend, would be, check your dictionary and let's see. Here is Cambridge Dictionary. Let's write the word advice. And let's see, advice. And what does it say? You here means uncountable. It says an opinion that someone offers you about what you should, or so again it says here it's an uncountable noun. Right, if we're going to go to Google and write, is it correct to say advices? And then look, the first answer that you get, advice cannot be used plurally in most cases, because advice is a non-count noun. Now this is what we expect you to do. We expect you to research. And we're not asking you in the application questions at level 7. It's not a master degree. It's not a Delta or a DIPTI sort of program. It's a level 5 certificate. So easy questions are being asked. So we would say, this is what you need to do. Then first underline it. That's it. And the correct version would be advice. And then write in simple terms, as if speaking to a learner of English, how you would make the correction clear. So I would say the word advice cannot be in the plural form. That's it. Right? Good. Now, and this is how you handle such questions. Underline it, correct it. So again, look at this one. Have you seen the last Batman movie? Yes, I've seen it last night. Now, the mistake is in last night because it cannot be used with a present perfect. How do I research this if I don't know all that? If I am an English teacher who is very weak at grammar and I don't know this fact, how do I research it? Okay, then my advice here is to go to Practical English Usage by Michael Swan. Let me go there. And here is Practical English Usage by Michael Swan, but in the form of an application. And I'm going to write here present perfect. And here it is, present perfect. And look at this. Let's go to page 145, and it says present perfect basic information. Okay, and again, you've got everything about present perfect. And this is the research that we want you to do. We want you to research everything about present perfect. And then when you research it, you will find the reason why last night cannot be used with it. And this is the scenario. And it goes like that. Ali is a shy person. And then the other speaker says, yes, he speaks with everyone politely. But wait a minute, speaking politely doesn't mean shy, which means that there is a problem in here. So you need to check your dictionary for the meaning of the word shy. And again, you go to your dictionary. Let's try this time Longman Dictionary, and let's write here shy. And what does it say about shy? It says nervous and embarrassed about meeting and speaking to other people, especially people you don't know, right? So again, that doesn't mean that you're polite or anything. So if we write polite here, and we look at the thesaurus, we see polite, well-mannered, well-behaved, courteous, respectful. You know, so the answer could be respectful instead of shy. So Ali is a respectful person. Yes, he speaks with everyone politely. So again, this is what you need. We don't expect you to know everything, but we expect you to research. We expect you to exert some efforts. That's what we expect you to do. Right. Then let's go, my friends, to part 2. Helping the students understand the differences in meaning. And it says here, comment on the differences in meaning between the following pairs of sentences. And then outline some ideas on how you might teach these differences in meaning. Right, so he's been to London, he's gone to London. And as I said again, for something like that, then you would need to go and check Practical English Usage by Michael Swan, find the differences between his been and his gone. Don't try just to answer from your mind. Make sure that you visited a reference. And please don't do this. Let me show you something that please avoid doing it. Like, look at this. The difference between been to and gone to. Been or gone. Look at first website gave me this. Okay, and some people would do that. They were going to copy and paste in the bloody application, excuse my French. You know, please remember that your CELTA tutors are smart people, right? So don't do that, because once you do this, this is clear plagiarism, right? And your application will be turned down immediately if you do that. You need to show them that you understand. There is no problem that you research and you visit this website and you understand, then you write in your own language, right? Good. And then you check also different ideas of how you would teach this and that, and then describe this here. I'm going to do this with my students to show them the difference, right? Good. And it goes like that for the rest of questions. Now, let's come to this one here. Imagine that you're teaching a group of 15 adult learners at pre-intermediate level. And then we have, if I have time, I'll visit you. If I had time, I'd visit you. What problems might the students have understanding the meaning of these statements? Then you go to Practical English Usage and check the difference between the first conditional and the second conditional. Okay? Right. And then the problems would be the differences in meaning, because we're talking here about meaning. So how they're different in meaning. And usually, I mean, the first conditional is about possible things, and the second conditional is about things that are difficult to happen. Right. So the first one, things that are likely to happen. The second one, things that are unlikely to happen. Now, when we come to this part, and this is a challenging part, problems might students have pronouncing these statements. And when you have a long statements like this, then I will advise you to go and check what we call connected speech. And we have another good program called Connect Your Speech that would really help you with this. And it talks about how you should be pronouncing this. So, for example, if I have time, I'll visit you. Right? So, in terms of connected speech, pronouncing the I and the will as a contracted form So students need to say I'll instead of I will. And here, pronouncing I'd instead of I would. So these are difficult areas for students, right? Now, when we come to this part here, which is outline some ideas on how you could teach these statements. Again, research the internet if you don't know. You will find a lot of ideas about teaching conditionals. Let me show you how you would do that. Again, it's just Google it. Just Google it. Look at this. Ideas for teaching conditionals. You have a lot of websites talking about this. 7 activities for teaching conditionals in the ESL classroom. Ideas for teaching conditionals. Wishes and dreams making conditionals magic in ESL classes. And again, and the list doesn't end, you know. And of course, you will find something that you can actually add to this application. Right. Now we come to part 4, which is describe a classroom language learning experience that was not very successful for you, a course, a lesson, or an activity, and say why you felt it didn't work or what was missing. Contrast this with a successful classroom language learning experience, you know, and again, you need to write from 200 to 250. And remember, as I said before, writing is very, very, very important. It shows evidence that you are at C1. And remember, my friends, that tutors would see your application before they see you. So your application can be enough to be rejected from a CELTA course without actually proceeding to an actual interview. So we came to the end of this application. And remember, if you have any further questions about CELTA applications, don't hesitate to leave your questions in comments. I'll be down there in the comments answering all your questions. So this was an episode of CELTA Insider. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment. That encourages us so much to continue. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.